Captain America, the First Avenger in 3D, a 2011 release, a 2-hour film, 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio, so you will get the black bars at the top and the bottom if you're watching it on a television set or a movie screen like I have here. This is DTS HD Master Audio 7.1, 6.9 on Internet Movie Database, 79% critics approval score on Rotten Tomatoes, 75% audience approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Joe Johnston, starring Chris Evans as Captain America or Steve Rogers. You got Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter and Sebastian Stan as Bucky. Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. Tommy Lee Jones as Colonel Chester. Stan Tucci as Dr. Abram, and Samuel L. Jackson makes a cameo in here, and Stan Lee makes a cameo in here. And this film takes place in 1942 to 1945 and a brief portion of 2012. There's going to be some spoilers here. I don't want to... look, man, this is an 11-year-old movie. If you don't know anything about it now, you might want to tune out. But I'm sure you know a lot about the movie, so I'm not going to talk much about the movie. I'll get into the 3D. This is the first in I think there was 3 Captain America films. This is the first one. This is an origin film. This talks about the beginning of Captain America and how he came about. And so what do you have here? Well, you got Chris Evans playing Captain America. He's a skinny Bronx. He's a boy from Bronx, a skinny boy from Bronx. He wants to go to war, defend his country. But they don't accept him because of all his problems. He's got a bunch of problems, and he's very, very skinny, and he wants to get in, but he can't. He gets rejected. Somebody notices him, though. They notice his tenacity, his love for his country. They notice, just his generally a good person, and they bring him into this program. It's a special program. It's going to enhance him, enhance his body, and it does. And then he's they don't know what to do with him. All right, they can't just put him in the army. And so, like I said, there are going to be some spoilers here. He's a spokesman for the army. Where Uncle Sam wants you, it's Captain America. And he goes on touring with the dancing girls, the Rockettes or whatever. Maybe not the Rockettes, but it's the dancing girls kicking their legs up and everything. He goes on tour with them, and he comes out, Captain America, buy war bonds. It's a big deal, big things going on. But he finally gets enlisted, and his buddy Bucky gets captured. He's got to go on a quest to get him. There's a whole series of things that they have to take down to get to Red Skull. So let's talk a little bit about the characters now. That'll lead you a little bit more into the movie. So Chris Evans, Captain America. Look, the CGI, what they did to make him skinny is unbelievable. He is skinny. It is amazing how thin he looks. And they did it with CGI. And then they had to actually put marks on the other actor's head, so he knew where to look, like he was looking up at him. They had to put marks where they knew where to look to see if he was shorter. They had to have him stand on boxes, anything to do to make the perception right, and they did that. Let's talk about the director, Joe Johnston. He also directed Indiana Jones, one of the Indiana Jones films, and 1991 The Rocketeer, and I believe the producers told him, make this like The Rocketeer. And you could definitely see some Rocketeer in here. There's definitely some Raiders of the Lost Ark in here with a propeller on a plane and things like that. So yeah, it definitely follows in those lines. Let's talk about Haley Atwell, the beautiful Haley Atwell playing Peggy Carter. Absolutely gorgeous gal. I'm telling you, man, the time they must have spent on her makeup. I mean, her lipstick is absolutely perfect. It almost looks like those wax lips that you bite into. I mean, it's just absolutely perfect. And she's got a love interest going on here. She's falling for Captain America. She's falling for Steve Rogers. There's a scene in here where Steve Rogers, and you've seen it in the trailer, he comes out of that machine and he pops open and he's all big and muscular and his chest is out, and she walks up and touches his chest, and she falls. Now that was an improv. It wasn't in the script. She just reached out and touched his chest, and the look on her face and everything, they left it in. It wasn't meant to be in there. She also wears a red dress in here. That dress was designed and made for, I believe it was, in Glorious Bastards. Yeah, it was in Glorious Bastards, I think was the name. But they didn't wear the dress in there. They didn't use it, but she wore it in here. She plays a great part. The love interest is pretty good. Let's talk about Sebastian Stan as Bucky. Yeah, he's good. He's good. I like Sebastian Stan, and he has some future role in other Captain America films. Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. Oh my gosh, Hugo Weaving. It's ultimate. What do you want to call it? I can't think of it right now. The nemesis, if that's what you want to say. And he didn't want to do a second role because the makeup and the mask was hard to do. In fact, Captain America, Steve Rogers turned the role down 3 times because he was afraid he was going to take him away from his family. Tommy Lee Jones as Colonel Chester. What can we say about Tommy Lee Jones? It's the same Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, get over here and do that. You go over there and sit down. That's it. And that's it. And that's, it's Tommy Lee Jones, right? You got to love the guy, but he's the same in every movie. He's just Tommy Lee Jones, But he makes a movie better, absolutely. Stan Tucci as Dr. Abram. I like Stan Tucci. He plays a great role here as Dr. Abram. And then you got Samuel L. Jackson makes a cameo. Stan Lee makes a cameo. That's about it for the movie. I will say it had some pacing issues going on. There was some. The music score is good. It's a little slow. The first hour is just kind of picking up. 45 minutes, I think. The first 45 minutes before he gets his body. And then you got a good chase scene in there. And then the next half hour, 20 minutes is his campaign around to raise war bonds. And the last act, the last 30 minutes is where the action is. And the actual best part is the last 20 minutes. Okay, let's talk about 3D now. Sorry about that. How was the 3D? The 3D is a mixed bag. It really is. It's a mixed bag, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. You start out in the beginning. There's a snow scene in the very beginning, and I got my glasses on, and a big missed opportunity there. But later on, the more I thought about it, it really wasn't missed. They just didn't put the money into it. They just didn't do it. And I'm like, oh man, I hope the whole movie isn't this way, because I'm looking at flat snow, right? I mean, it's snowing, and a normal scene, the 3D in the snow, they'd be falling in the room, but it wasn't there. A lot of flat scenes in the beginning. Things start picking up. You always kind of have that depth. You always kind of have that depth to the background. The colors like that World War II yellowish, greenish color. But you always got that depth going into the background, which makes it good. It's a good 3D. It's not bad on the eyes. It's not reference quality. I'm not going to say if nobody's ever seen 3D, pop this in. No, absolutely not. Pop in Avatar or something like that. There are some scenes down some hallways. There are some surprise scenes. Now, when the 3D needs to be good and it pops, it does. Okay, they put the money into 3D in the third act. That's where they really put the money. To me, to my eyes. You may disagree, and that's fine. But in that third act, you got stuff popping out of the screen. You got things flying out at you. When he throws that shield, it comes right out. You might jump back a little bit there. So you got that. So you do get your pop-outs. You do get your stick-outs. You got guns sticking out of the screen. It seems to be more in that third act, for me anyway, which made that portion very good, which made it overall, yeah, I'd rather watch it in 3D than not. Definitely, without a doubt. Special thanks to Lowell Wise for recommending this. And I'm going to recommend it to you also. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to give Captain America the First Avenger, I'm going to give it 4.0 for the movie, and I'm going to give it 3.0 for the 3D. I think it could have been done a little bit better. I think the other ones were actually done better. So what did you think? Let me ask you, what did you think? Did you see it? Did you see it in 3D? Did you see it in 2011 in 3D in the theaters? I wonder how that experience was. How would you rate this against the other Captain America films? To me, well, I'm not going to mention it. I don't want to do it. I don't like to compare movies to other movies, so I'm going to save it. I like one of the other two better. But anyway, give me your take on this. Let me know. Leave some comments below. Helps me out. I want you to stay safe. Hit that like and subscribe button. Got more reviews coming. Stay safe. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And be safe out there if you're traveling. And as always, God bless.